Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. This is our daily MLB pitching preview show that we do with Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com. Right now we're looking at Thursday, June 11th. Joe Duffy, thanks for being back with us.
Thank you for having me, Peter.
All right, Joe. Well, we appreciate all the insights that you give us day in and day out on baseball. We know that your picks have gone well recently in the NHL playoffs with us. Tell us how things are going at your website, OffshoreInsiders.com, recently.
Fantastic. There's not a bigger myth in betting than when people say that baseball is a tough sport. We've got so many reasons why, and if people want me to send them links to some videos and articles, just email me through the site. But we've had winning days 15 of the last 19 as we filed this report. 2 of those days we simply gave back a little bit of juice. So it's been a great year and a great recent run.
Well, the first thing I want to ask you about on Thursday is Texas and Oakland, right? Chichi Gonzalez and Scott Kazmir. And this guy, Chichi Gonzalez, who is this guy, man? 15 shutout innings so far, but just 4 strikeouts and 7 walks. And his numbers in AAA weren't that great. So what to make of him? I think he's going to get hit pretty soon, maybe in this game. And then Kazmir on the other side, I knew he was going to get, start to have health issues and start to regress in the middle of the season. That has absolutely happened. You think maybe we see an over here? You think maybe both these guys might be vulnerable in this start?
It could be, but, Oakland doesn't have that good of bats, so whether or not Chichi Gonzalez is going to finally hit the wall here, not necessarily, because he's facing an Oakland team, as we know, that has good pitching. They don't have much of an offense. And Kazmir, look, you're right, he did last just 4 2/3 innings in his last outing, but this guy's pitched pretty well in his career. So I don't know if I can emphatically talk you out of it, but as far as does this jump out as an overplay to me? Not really.
All right, and then Wade Miley against Chris Tillman in Boston at Baltimore. Yeah, Chris Tillman had an okay start last time out. Here he's going to be at home against Boston. He just seems pretty vulnerable each time out. And Wade Miley on the other side has had some good starts recently. He's had an awful April, but then May and June have been quite good overall. It seems like, the feeling is that Boston has actually a reasonably significant starting pitching edge here, Miley against Tillman. Do you disagree with that, or does that seem about right to you?
No disagreement at all. Wade Miley has actually had 5 quality starts since May the 2nd, 3.33 ERA, as you said. Got off to the rough start, but we knew he was a better pitcher than that, and I think that the numbers over his last 5 starts a little bit more indicative of who he is. So we agree 100%.
And Boston's offense, they've been underachieving this year. On paper they look good. The names are good. They should be able to get to a vulnerable pitcher like Tillman. Do we expect? Does Boston have the bats to take advantage of Tillman, or are they actually going to be? Is Tillman actually going to get a break here in this game a little bit?
Well, Boston and Washington are the 2 poster children of teams that are so highly touted, and once they get so much hype during the offseason, they seem to be good teams to bet against. But you're right, still at the same time, Boston's bats are a lot better than they've shown this year, and a very good situation against a so-so pitcher. So I would expect that Boston to definitely score quite a few runs in this game.
All right, and then Tim Lincecum goes again. A bunch of bad starts in a row, each one kind of the 5 or 6 innings, 4 run type. And, do we expect the same thing here? The Mets offense, not the most formidable offense in the majors, but it just seems like anyone can hit Lincecum at this point anywhere. And then Jonathan Nice on the other side has not been good. He's had 5 straight bad starts, although his last start was a little bit better, maybe showing signs that he's going to improve in the near future, although San Francisco's lineup has been heating up recently over the past bunch of weeks. What do we expect this pitching matchup, Lincecum versus Nice? Is this a wash, or does one team, do you think, have the edge here in the pitching matchup?
I think it's going to be a Coors Field type score. Very likely should be an over here. Nice has really struggled, 7.96 ERA over his last 5 starts. And we've talked about Tim Lincecum. Really, I don't think there's been a streakier pitcher in baseball the last 3, maybe 4 years. And now that he's been, kind of come down to earth, I say just ride that streak while he's ice cold. I say at least 10 runs scored here.
Really, you think that Nice is likely to struggle again here? Because his last start was a little bit better, right? He was missing bats, 8 strikeouts in 6 innings. He gave up 3 runs. You don't think that might be an indication that we might see better things from Nice in the near future?
I mean, it could be. It's not like he's, one of the top pitchers in the game. So a lot of times when a stud pitcher is starting to turn it around, but I want to see a little bit more from Nice before I'm sold on that. I still think that the over is a good play. And one of the reasons the public likes to bet the overs, really only one of the pitchers have to get drilled for you to have a pretty good chance of getting this game over the total. And I think at least one of these pitchers will get drilled and should put the game pretty close to the total themselves. But, Nice, I'm not really sold on him at this point.
All right, and then J.A. Happ starting at Cleveland. He is another one of these pitchers with big home road splits, much worse on the road than he's been at home this year. He also has struggled a bit in the day in his starts this year. What do we expect from him here at Cleveland? An early start, 12 o'clock. Do we think Happ might be vulnerable here to getting hit or possibly even crushed?
Well, the splits there are certainly interesting, but look, he's a veteran pitcher who just seems to have kind of found his niche. He is pitching very well, 3.09 ERA in his last 5 starts, 3.31 for the year. So he's just been the mark of consistency, and he's actually pitched very well against Cleveland, 1.89 ERA in 4 career starts to Cleveland. So do I think he's going to get knocked around? No. And, the day-night splits, I think, can be a little bit deceptive because teams play so many more night games where, a couple day games could really kind of screw that up. So I think, if anything, I'm going to just keep riding J.A. Happ. He's pitching pretty well.
All right, that's all I wanted to make sure we got to on Thursday. There's a bunch of other matchups that we didn't touch on. Is there anything that you think is worthy of note?
Garrett Richards has been terrible for the Angels. His last 4 starts, he's really struggled, including 8.01 ERA in his last 3. And Matt Garza, one of these pitchers who's maybe turning it around, sneaking under the radar. He's got a 5.09 ERA overall, but over his last 3 starts, it's 3.18. Not that he's a stud pitcher, but he's certainly better than he showed early. And it's just amazing how pitchers, whether they're decent pitchers, whether they're bad pitchers who are pitching well, whether they're great pitchers, they always seem to kind of settle at their level. And I think that Garza, at this point, is a little bit undervalued.
I don't know. You know, I'm not very high on Garza here. He's going to be at home against Washington. We'll see what the weather is, what Washington's lineup is. But, I don't know. I'm thinking he at best is going to have one of those, 3 or 4 runs starts, maybe 6, 7 innings.
Well, again, when we do these, I kind of just talk about the pitching check marks. But before I make a final pick on that game, I'm going to look at it from every angle, including the offensive statistics. Sure. But I do think that, Garza at this point is just a little bit undervalued. So.
Okay, fair enough. Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com. Thanks.